Really? Really? Okay. Okay, so we have a travel agency, 25 or more, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we're going to have the number in the group. And the dollar per person. And revenue. Now with these problems, this isn't as spoon-fed to you. Some of them are, but most of them you have to come up with the function yourself. So, a couple things to keep in mind. One is, revenue is the money you take in. It is not your profit. Okay, it's money you take in before your expenses, before your costs. Profit is revenue minus your expenses or costs, and what's left over is profit. Hopefully that's a positive number. Okay, now how do you get this? Okay, like for instance, in the case of our travel agency thing, if you have 25 people, it's $300 a person. So if you have 25, it's $300. Well, to get the revenue, you would just take the number in the group times how much it costs per person. Okay, so you multiply, and what it equals is your revenue. That's what, 7,500? Yeah. Okay, so your revenue would be 7,500. Okay, but now, here's the thing. If you lower the price and you get more people, sometimes that's better, right? You end up with a higher revenue. But at some point, if you lower the price too much, even though you have more people, you're not doing so well. So we want to find where that point is that, okay, this is more profitable by lowering the price, and then all of a sudden, not so much. Okay, so each additional person, $10 off per person. So if I have 26, it'll be $290 per person. So that's $75.40. So, okay, even though I reduced the price, I'm still taking in more money. Okay? So what we want to do is I can sit here and I can do 27 and 280. I can do 28, etc., etc., and keep on doing all the stuff on my calculator until I start not having as high a number. But we want to be more professional than that. So this, I can describe this column as 25 plus X. Okay? And down here I'm going to say what X is. Okay, X equals number of additional guests or whatever. Okay, now this one, the price is going to be $300 minus $10 times X. Okay? So this times this equals this. So here I'm going to have this binomial times this binomial. Parentheses, parentheses, parentheses. Okay. This is going to be our function. Our position function. Okay, so for any number of X, I can put it in here and that'll give me my revenue. So if I have, 3 more people. So X is 3, this is 28, and then you would subtract 30, it would be 270. Okay, so that's going to be that. So f of X, now I don't want to have to use the product rule. And since these are both to the first power, I'm just going to go ahead and FOIL this. Remember, 25 times both, then X times both. So 25 times 300, we already know, that's 7,500. And then minus 250X. Then plus 300X. And then minus 10X squared. Okay, so f of X is going to be 7,500. And then when I combine these like terms, I'm going to have plus 50X minus 10X squared. Now you could actually just use the vertex formula because this is a parabola, but we're in calculus, so we're going to use calculus to do it. Okay, so now what I want to know is when does this reach its relative maximum? Because it is a parabola, and the coefficient on my x squared term is negative, so that means it opens down, so the top is my maximum. I want to know when the slope of that tangent line is flat, when it equals 0. So to find the optimization of this, to find the maximum revenue, set f of x equal to 0. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is divide everything by 10. As long as I do every term in the problem, that's legit. So that's 0 equals 750 plus 5x minus x squared. Well, to factor that is really hard for me. Okay, so I have to write it like this. I have to have the x squared first. This makes it easier. I also don't like this negative, okay? So I'm going to divide everything by -1. So I'm not starting with a negative. You don't have to do this. I think it makes it easier. So all that's going to do is change the sign of all the terms. Okay? So now, let's see. 75 times 10. No, I'm looking for this middle term here. So, what are my factors of 750? 75 and 10, that's not going to cut it. 750 divided by 25. 25 and 30. Ha! How about that? Okay. So this times this equals 0. So either this is 0 or this is 0. If this equals 0, x is 30. If this equals 0, x is -25. Well, go back to what we're doing here. I'm not going to have negative number of people. Okay? So this is telling me that, okay, if I had -25 people, that means I would have 0 people. Because remember, we start with a group of 25. If I have -25, there would be 0 people. That would be my minimum revenue because it would be 0. So, but that's not a realistic answer. This is a realistic answer, though. It is 30. Okay. So, the answer, remember with application problems, well, let's see, x is the additional number of people. The answer is 25 plus 30. Let me see if that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. No. The answer is 30. Unless I didn't do that right. 3 times 25. 750. My sign's wrong. Something is amiss here. The answer is going to be 30 people. I feel like I want to revisit that. Because we said x is the number of additional people. Well, 30 and 30, and they'd all be going for free. You know what I did? Oh my gosh. I'm going to leave it like that. I should just stop and redo this whole video. But, okay, what did I set equal to 0? The function. I didn't take the derivative. Okay. So. Shoot me. Alright. Okay, how about this? Derivative of 7,500 is 0. Derivative of 50x is 50. Derivative of this is -20x. I believe I did that. Now set it equal to 0. Okay, so -50 equals -20x. Divide both sides by -20. And that gives you positive 2.5. Now, since we're dealing with people, And we're not like gonna charge like half price for somebody who's pregnant, you know, for their fetus. So that's not gonna work. So this tells me either 3 more people or 2 more people above the original 25 is gonna give me my maximum revenue. So here's our answer. So it's either 2 more people, which would be 27, or 3 more people would be 28. Okay, because it asked me for the whole group. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so the second problem, this is so unrealistic. I got this from your book. Okay, so the second problem. Okay, so you have a cable company. First of all, you only have 4,000 customers. This is not a very good cable company. Okay, but I guess, you know, it's to make it easier to handle the numbers. Okay, costs $110 a month for cable. If you drop it by $1, like, and you charge $109, 50 more people say, I'm in, I'm joining, because that's a much better deal. Okay, so it's not very realistic, but let's take a look at it anyway. I don't believe I did that. Okay, so number 2. All right, so we have number of customers. Okay, and we have price per customer. And when I multiply those, I get the revenue. Okay, so that times that equals that. Okay, so we have 4,000 customers paying $110. Okay, now for each additional dollar that I knock off, so if I charge $109, I'm gonna have what, 50? Okay, I'm gonna have 4,050 customers. Okay, so now what we need to do is to write this as a function. So I don't have to do a whole bunch of multiplying. Okay, 4050 times 109. Okay, so this one I could, let's determine x is going to equal number of, because wait, is it asking me? Okay, it's asking me for the price, so I'm going to let my variable be part of the price thing. Okay, so the number of $1 reductions. So how would I write this? Well, it's 50 times the number of $1 that you knock off. So we have 4,000 customers plus 50x. Our price is 110 minus x times 1. Okay, so our function then is going to be 4,000 plus 50x times 110 minus x. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and FOIL that. Then I'm going to take the derivative and set it equal to 0. Okay, so this gives me 440,000, that times that, minus 4,000x. And that's going to give me plus 5,500x minus 50x squared. So f of x is going to be a big number plus 200x. Okay. Minus 50x squared. Okay, so now I'll take the derivative and set it equal to 0. So f prime of x is going to be, derivative of a constant is 0. It's going to be 1,500 minus 100x. Now we set that equal to 0. So negative 1,500 equals negative 100x. So divide both sides by negative 100, and you get 15 equals x. So I think the question asks, what price should I charge? Find the price that yields the maximum revenue, and what is the maximum revenue? Okay, the price should be 110 minus 15. So that's $95 per customer, okay? Our revenue is going to be F at, at X, okay, at 15. So it was 440 plus 1,500 times 15 minus 50 times 15 squared. That was our original function. Okay, so to get the revenue, you go back to the original function. 15 squared equals times negative 50 plus 1,500 times 15 plus 440. That's our max revenue. Okay. So if I drop it by $16, even though I pick up an additional 50 customers, my revenue is going to be a little bit less than that. If you check this, if you find F at 14 and F at 16, they'll be the same number as each other, and both of them will just be slightly less than this, because our function was parabolic. I just wanted to say parabolic real bad again. Okay. Okay, the next one is kind of similar. Okay, so club members charge $5 and they get 1,000 people. They increase the price, 100 more people say no. If it's $6, I'm not going. Okay, so $5, 1,000 people. And what price and what is the maximum revenue? Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you put first because we're just multiplying. So we can do the price. And then we'll do people. And then we do our rev. Okay. That times that equals that. Okay, so when the price is $5, we have 1,000 people. Raise it to $6. $6. Well, we have 900. Okay, so this is 5,000. And this is 5,400. Okay. So to write this as a function, the price is going to be 5 plus X. X will equal the number of $1 increases. Okay, so the number of people is going to be 1,000 minus 100 times number of times that you increase that. So our function is 5 plus X times 1,000 minus 100X. So that's going to be 5,000 minus 500X plus 1,000X minus 100X squared. So when I combine like terms, I'm going to have 5,000 plus 500X minus 100X squared. Okay, so now I'm going to take the first derivative and set it equal to 0. I can't stop laughing about it. Okay, so f prime of x. Okay, derivative of a constant is 0. Derivative of 500x is simply 500. And then 2 times 100, so minus 200x to the first. Set that equal to 0. Subtract 500 from both sides. Divide both sides by negative 200. Oops, reset. Oh, I can erase this. Okay. So that's going to give me 2.5 equals x. Okay, now, when we had 2.5 in the first problem, we were dealing with people. You weren't going to have a partial person. Now we're dealing with money. So you can have 2.5. So the price should be $5 plus $2.50. So you should charge $7.50. Okay? And to get our maximum revenue, we're going to find F at 2.5. Not at 750, because it's F of X. So F of 2.5. So it's 5,000 plus 500 times 2.5 minus 100 times 2.5 squared. Okay, 2.5 squared equals times negative 100 plus 500 times 2.5 equals plus 5,000. I used to calculate it up. Don't forget your dollar sign. Okay. So if you were to stick in a different dollar amount besides 750 and, go through and see what you get, you'd find this is going to give your best deal. Okay. 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 Good enough. Okay. So hopefully that was all right. And I'll put some more stuff online.